starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, you guys. It is your boy, Mr. Zachery Williams, and welcome to the Royal Mike broadcast. I know. I have been going for a long time, but I got y'all. I'm gonna fill y'all in. If you didn't follow me on social media, I'm gonna fill y'all in on what was going on because last month, your boy has been busy. And it all go in this topic, chasing your dreams or quit the fight. So, you ever chase something for a long time, forget why you started, like waking up or opening your phone, scrolling through everybody else see winning, and start to wonder maybe your dreams come from somebody else instead, right? They don't talk about the parts when the dream used to keep them alive. I start drilling them instead. When you start asking yourself, is this still passion or I'm just pushing myself? Tonight, maybe it's this afternoon, depends on him. I'm not here to give you no fairy tales. I'm here to talk to the dreamers who are tired, the one who pushing where the applause got quiet. Tonight, we sit in here and talk about, let's be honest. Do I chase the dream or do I quit? So last month I have definitely, been busy chasing my dreams. Um Definitely have been booking busy in poetry. So if you don't know, I am in love with poetry. Poetry is the way that somebody expressing themselves, heartbreak, abuse, family, friends, sexualized things. So poetry doesn't have one lane. It has so many different layers of it. And the reason why I chose this time, chasing your dreams or just quit. Because at this time, as I've been preparing October and getting things done around the corner, it just been like, how do I get here? So one of my events I did was called the Vibe Tape. So Vibe State, I started in June. Those who know, I had to June to all the way to October the 18th. I had to make sure that everybody was the same schedule. I had to figure out where I'm going to have this at. I had to figure out, who can I call on? Who can I depend on? I was debating in my head so many times in June and figuring, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do this? And finally, I take a leap of faith. I have found a building cheap that weekend, Saturday. Got all my, I want to say, was it 7, 8 performers, including myself. Got a DJ. Got a host because I didn't host my event because I didn't want to have so much pressure on me and make sure I can deal with things on the back end. So it was definitely a long, long time, the gear and the guts. Tracing your dreams sound like sexy until it's lonely, Like still the lights turn off and it's just you. A notepad, a deadline, a puller, a bills ask the questions, and you and your art cannot be answered, right? And what I mean by that is meaning that, chasing your dreams is all, big. Oh, I want to be a millionaire. Or I want to buy my first car. Or I want to get my first apartment. I'll go to college. I think a lot of people forget the first step. is to have a plan. And yes, starting a plan on paper takes a lot. It does takes a lot. And planning it takes a lot. And people don't understand that tracing your dreams does have its ups and downs. I didn't say that the whole October month was definitely where I would have my ups and downs. Definitely wasn't perfect. I would say that. It definitely wasn't perfect. But I did have some struggles. I did have some, self doubt, performance. I get that jittery. I get nervous. I get anxious. Are people gonna show up? Are people gonna like me? You know, I had it on my head. And then a lot of people don't think like the process to get through those steps. You just can't go from A all the way to Z. No, you have to go to B, C, F, G, K, H, V, W to get to Z. It takes a lot of steps. Most of us get taught off running away from our dreams. But nobody said what happened when the dreams run faster than your peace. Right? You gotta have peace when you're doing these things. You know, you got to have I said, you gotta have self-care while you doing these things because you just can't go on and on and on and on. Baby, how you balancing your life? Like it took from like I said, for June to October. Yeah, that's a few months in between, but it took time. And to tell you, I work a 9 to 5 job, and I'm in school, and on top of that, I'm in a relationship. That is a lot for itself. That is definitely a lot for itself. But you end up spiraling towards something that keeps you moving every time when you get closer. Every time you get closer to your dreams, every time you get closer to something that you get you get there. Like I said, you are going to have some ups and downs. You are definitely going to have somebody going to tell you, don't do it. Why are you doing this for? I think you should quit. And a lot of us times, we tell ourselves that, can I really do this? We self-doubt ourselves sometimes. Sometimes we be like, oh, why I'm doing this again? You lose the purpose of what your dream is. And sometimes dreams don't have to be the biggest things. I think sometimes we look at the bigger picture. We don't how to say we don't celebrate the smaller victories to get to the bigger dreams. I know I had a hard time, how to say that. So I had a hard time. So I had a hard time with my master's degree. Let's take my master's degree for instance, right? I was definitely not enjoying that moment with my master's degree. Right? So I was, moving out my mama's house, trying to find some place, trying to make sure that I'm paying the rent, the front month's rent, graduating out on top of that. And a lot of things just came fast. And I didn't take the time to like enjoy the moment, having my friends around me, um, getting, my stash, my robe, my hat, like the cap on, you know, getting to the place, to the building. And I didn't soak up the moment because I was like, next, got it, next, got it, next. But if I had just took the moment and just look around me in the stadium, see all these people, see different families and friends being there, and took the moment and just look how long it took me to get here. And I didn't give up. You know, I had to ask myself that. Do you love doing what you need to do? Do you think who do you love when people think becoming if you work very hard about it? And what I mean by that, it's do people care about your dreams? You know, do the people who's in your corner cares about your dream as you care about theirs? Like I said, like I said, my master's degree, and if I'm repeating myself, and if I'm getting there, it just my sinus is very acting up. But a lot of people is not going to, going to be there for you. It's not a lot of people is not going to enjoy the ride with you. You know, especially family members. That's why I didn't invite none of my family to my master, like to when I got my master's degree. I didn't invite my family members there. I don't invite my friend because my friends got me where I needed to be at. My friends motivate me to where I need to be at. And it's just like, why should I invite my family if they was not there in the whole process? If you get what I'm saying. You know, and I don't regret that decision at all. I'm like, well, we should have known. Da, da, da. Plus, wasn't a lot of tickets. It wasn't. But I'm glad I made the decision to have my friends there, especially my friend, my boyfriend. And just join in that moment. And I just say I wasn't throwing a moment. It just feel like it was just flashed by, like, okay, all right. But we have to start putting people in our circles when we chase in our dreams. Everybody's not going to be on the same ride as you. You know, um, and I want to talk about, the cost of catching or chasing your dreams, Dream costs. They cost sleep, friendship, sanity, relationship, and faith. Sometimes receipt doesn't show up until you break, not have the money, but in spirit. You never you never pour everything into something what you giving nothing back for a while, right? You start asking yourself, maybe I've not been chosen, maybe I'm missing my season. But if you not but but what if you're not behind? Maybe you just need to be reconfined. And what I mean by that, maybe if you start watching people on TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, if you start worrying about people that their lifestyle and be like, oh, I'm behind, oh, I'm not in my season, you do not know how would they journey when they got there. Some of us we go on Instagram, we go on these things and be like, I wish I was that person. I wish I had that. Maybe it wasn't your time. Maybe that's not your story. Maybe that's just not your season. We have to stop comparing each other different life. We'll come down to chasing your dreams. Sometimes you might be in that period when things are moving very slowly and you want to speed up. Rome wasn't built overnight. It took time. You just can't give me. No, it does not work like that. Especially if you are a Christian, especially if you serve God. That doesn't work like that. You can't ask for something if you don't put action behind it. Like I said, maybe you missing I missed my season. Maybe if you felt I'm not behind. No, sometimes you have to redefine what things you have to do. Maybe what you are doing right now, it's how I'm saying. Maybe what you are doing right now, maybe you need to tweak it. I would say that. Maybe you need to tweak it. Maybe you need to Go back into the drawing board. That don't mean you should quit. I'm not telling you that, but and we're gonna get there when I tell you quit. But everything happened for a reason. You know, God did not rush what he plans to use in real purpose. Especially when you come down to you. You know, he will let you lose followers to gain focus. He will let the cloud leave you so you can finally hear your own calling again. Let's be real. The grinding culture is lying to us sometimes. It tell us we got to be on it 24/7. No rest, no pause, no boundaries. But if the dreams cost your peace, that's not a blessing. That's a warning. You do not have to be on your grind all the time. You don't. But make progress. I'm like, okay, you gotta, all right. You check your email. You started a video. You read one book. That's progress. Enjoy life at the same time, because like I say, you don't have to grind all the time. Enjoy the moments. Celebrate the small. Celebrate the small little things. If you don't, it's gonna pass you by. It's definitely gonna pass you by, and then you're gonna be, damn. I wish I slowed down and took this moment and appreciate who's in front of me, who's beside me, who's on this journey with me. And sometimes you might be on this journey yourself, and it's okay. It's okay to be on a journey yourself, because sometimes enemies don't destroy you when you fail. Hold on, I said that wrong. And sometimes enemy want you to fail. They want you to struggle. They want you to sit back. They want you to be depressed. They want you not to chase your dreams. They want you to quit. They want you to not put energy inside certain things that means to you. They don't want you to hustle. They want you to stay where you at in that moment. They want you to be what you need to be at. But that's not us. And I'm not saying that's for everybody. I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm just speaking for the people who understands. Purpose. Purpose is the word of chasing your dreams. Because sometimes you have to ask, is it worth your peace? And I think sometimes we chase the wrong dreams. Sometimes we put energy in stuff that we do not need to do. Like, there's so many different avenues that you can go into. If this didn't work, try another one. If that didn't work, try another lane. Don't give up, but also don't forget about your peace. I tell you, because when you get to that finish line or the dream you have, and you're gonna look back and be like, I wish I joined this moment. I wish that I would spend time with my friends to celebrate. I got here. I got a promotion. You know, I started a new bank account to start off my new business. You know, I got this one investor that have multiples down the line. You have to celebrate the small victories. Yeah, it's cost to chase. Yeah, time, energy, money, researching, anything. It does. But also learn how to take a rest. Learn how to be still. And this next part, I'm just gonna be like, when quitting look like freedom. Right? We're gonna get in when quitting look like freedom. Here's the truth. Nobody say it out loud. Sometimes quitting is scary. Sometimes sometimes quitting is scary. Sometimes you got to bury what's what makes you room for the next one. Sometimes you gotta like bury it to make room for the next one. We think stopping equal means failure. Even Jesus rests when God said it is finished. So why we can't stop when it's time? There's a difference between giving up and letting go. Giving up means you lost hope. Letting go means you find wisdom. Maybe you're not quitting your dreams. Maybe you are outgrowing it. Maybe this version of your dream just a training wheel for something bigger. Maybe you can't fulfill this dream for yourself, but having other people within this dream, your purpose. Sometimes God makes you uncomfortable so you can finally move. When He closed one door, it's not going to hurt you, but it stopped you from living into small. And if you are tired, get ready to pilot. Because if you walking away for nothing, fear, but it's faith. That's not quitting. It's transformation. It's transformation. When God closed one door for you, another one is going to open. Sometimes we miss signals, red flags. Sometimes it's right in our face. Hey, do you see me? Hey, they are playing with you. God is, God is showing you something. But again, I know it. Nah, no sign. It is a sign. Hey, they're playing with you. Hey, they're taking advantage of you. Hey, I need you to move like this. Hey, that relationship is not good for you. Hey, he is trying to show you something to get to where you need to be. He is trying to show you something that you need to be at. And sometimes we sit here and we don't look at the flags. And I'm gonna say I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect because I have missed a lot of flags. But I got back on track. I sat and just look that what God give me the tools and the cards that I'm dealing with. You gotta use them wisely. Don't put your best card down. Don't use that one. Use this one. We gotta stop and think. And hey, no red flags. Hey, them door about to close. Hey, you about to get ready to move. And then the fact that you have to be ready. Sometimes it might happen on the spot. You never know. Refining success. Let's talk about what winning really means. Because half of what we call success is just survival with a better light. Because half of us we call success is just survival with a better lighting. So that means that we call it success. No, it's you surviving because you have to make ends meet. But that's not your purpose for chasing your dreams. Some things we settle for something things less. Maybe you were not meant to be a specialist for that long. Maybe you meant to be something a manager, the CFO, maybe having your own business, but we don't pay attention. We don't want to refine what a success look like to you. Truly, success isn't a virtual post. It is a piece when somebody's watching. It's purpose that don't need permission. It's waking up knowing that you don't have to beg for your worth. If you measure your dream by applauding, you will die every time in quiet. If you measure by impact, you realize that you are been making more noise than you ever think. And I keep repeating myself to like be like, everybody's not gonna be there for you. Your family, your teacher, your dog, like your spouse, anybody is not gonna be there for you. And I want you to think about, what is your purpose? What does chasing your dream look like to you? Does it mean that you have to make sacrifice to get where you need to be at? Probably so. Does it mean that you have to move someplace else? Probably so. Does it mean to quit that job that is not serving you any purpose? That barely paying ends meet? That doesn't see you worth? Probably so. Maybe you need to stop dating a dude or a female that who loves you, but really talk about you. Probably so. Tell you, chasing your dream doesn't mean a career. Doesn't mean it doesn't mean those things. It could be relationship, friendship, a job, going back to school, getting your first apartment, first house, having a kid. Like, all that is chasing your dream. It depends on what you want and how it looks like. How does it look like? So ask yourself tonight, what is your really dream about? Is it a frame of fulfillment? Is it a spotlight or the soul of work? Because chasing something you might not be carrying will break you. I'm telling you, it will. Chasing will align with your calling that will build you. Don't chase something that you know eventually is not going to work at the end with you. It's not. That's why I chase my dreams every time. I don't care who's in my way. That's why I am as I am as today. Not only I got this platform, I have another platform. And I'm working on another one. Gotta stay tuned for that one. But we gotta stop. We really have to stop. Stop putting in energy that don't do us any justice. Stop putting things that don't need our energy. Cause what does reclaiming your time means to you? What are you doing in the 24 hours? Are you just quitting? I'm not telling you to quit. Sometimes you need to quit certain things to get where you need to be at. I have. I have dropped friends. Sometimes you gotta move in silence. Sometimes everybody don't need to know your moves. Sometimes you stop posting stuff that it haven't happened yet. And see, I need to get with that because sometimes I do post things and it be like, it ain't happy yet, but sometimes I post things and it do happen. We gotta get this together. We really do. Because waking up doesn't mean to give up. Maybe dream isn't to die. Maybe you just need to dream differently. You don't have to chase what God already planned inside of you. You just have to become it. You are the dream. Every scar, every setback, every sleepless night, the shape, the masterpiece. So stop. I'm not saying stop. Don't quit the progress because it just hurt. Pushing, building, pushing does means you getting somewhere. Not only there might be a crack on the road, there might be cracks, and you are going to have ups and downs on everything you are. But dreams never dies if you let it die. And I'm telling you, I have been on that journey. I have definitely been where I wanted to quit. I have definitely where I just wanted to cry in the corner. I just want to throw life in the way because I didn't have a purpose. Because if you do not have a purpose in life, you're going to be stuck. I'm telling you, you are going to be stuck. So, tonight, whether you are chasing or choosing the rest, choose peace, choose purpose, choose presence, because dream doesn't always look like what we imagine, because always lead where we meant to be going. What is your purpose chasing your dream? Do you quit or do you chase them? Or do you just right out to sunset? And I'm gonna leave you with this final note. I love y'all, and I appreciate each and every one of y'all who are listening, who is watching. You're not behind. You're just building. And I'm leaving it as that. Um, Stay tuned. I have my poetry books, my second poetry book coming out. It's called Debut Confession on the Porch, Volume 2. And it comes out on my birthday, December 6th. So this has been the Royal Mike, and this has been your lovely host, Mr. Zachery Williams. See y'all later.